Welcome to Lesson 4 in Module 2. I'm really excited about this lesson. I think this content is really going to teach you guys a lot about putting a framework in place and building the kind of business that works for your lifestyle and the kind of lifestyle that you're trying to build. So to help you better understand this, we've created a grid. And on this grid, across the top, we have different types of offerings that you can sell in your business. So you'll see listed across the top, physical products, information products, and services. Now down on the left-hand side of the grid, you'll see different types of entrepreneurial activities, like we covered in Lesson 2. There's a box for administrative activities, production activities, visionary activities, and integration activities. So by now, you've probably decided what type of product you want to sell, whether it's physical, information, or service-based, and you've identified what type of entrepreneurial tasks and activities you enjoy. We're going to start by talking about archetypes that enjoy the administrative activities. So if you remember back to that lesson, the administrative type of person really likes details and forms and precision and getting things just right, but she is probably going to dislike the spotlight. So look for those trends in these characters that I describe. The first archetype is someone we call the merchant. So the merchant is probably very good at merchandising and displaying physical products, and she's probably very good about paying attention to the details associated with running a retail store. The next archetype is that of a developer. So a developer is good at administrative details, forms, things like that, but they probably exist more in the information space. They might have a wide amount of knowledge on intellectual property, and they're probably great with IT. When the developer partners with people with integrator activities and integrator skills, they usually can build a very strong customer follow-up and good client experience. The third archetype that's also strong in administrative activities is the virtual assistant. And I love it when I see people who have strong administrative skills go straight for that virtual assistant space and own that in their entrepreneurial ventures. A good virtual assistant loves the to-do list and loves helping entrepreneurs and visionaries find focus. It's so hard for visionaries to practice administrative skills that virtual assistants can really command a pretty high price and make a good freelance income by offering virtual assistant services. Now we're going to move to the category of production activities. If you remember back to our lesson about the different entrepreneurial activities, the production person likes creating things. Now, what the production person does not like is forms or administrative details. Our fourth archetype is the maker. And she's exactly what she sounds like. She's crafty and DIY. She loves making things with her hands. The maker is most often found in a physical product space like Etsy. The fifth archetype is someone that we call the author. So she's also creative, but isn't necessarily into creating things with her hands like the maker. The author is going to be very good at information products, things like e-courses or maybe even coaching. An author personality type is great at synthesizing and compiling information. Okay, the last archetype in the category of production tasks and activities is actually our sixth archetype, and it is the freelancer. The freelancer is creative and independent, just like she sounds, and she doesn't necessarily like to be tied down. So she's often seen helping the maker and the author maybe create physical products or even compile information products. And she offers her services to other people in that production activity category. And so now we're going to move to the task category of visionary activities. So if you remember back to the lesson about the entrepreneurial activities, the visionary primarily likes daydreaming and she dislikes production. So she will be relying a lot on those that have the production strength, and we'll dive into talking about those archetypes right now. The first archetype in the visionary category and our seventh archetype overall is the inventor. The inventor is innovative and original, and she's constantly thinking up the next big thing. She works really well with developers that have strong administrative skills. Our 8th archetype, who's also a visionary, is the marketer. And the marketer tends to play more in the information product space. Marketers are a great entrepreneurial archetype to study and connect with, simply because a lot of times they're willing to teach you so much. A marketer's biggest weakness might be team management, so she might need to work with someone with integrator skills in order to help bring her up to speed in that arena of entrepreneurial operations. The final archetype in the visionary space is the piper. And the piper is a people person. She is an entertainer, and she sells a service, and it's simply entertainment. She's engaging and high energy and may collaborate a lot with makers and virtual assistants to get her work done. And lastly, we have a series of archetypes related to the integrator activities that we talked about in that previous lesson. So if you'll remember from the lesson, integrators love people, and that also means that they dislike dissension. So typically, we're going to see integrators try to be around people in their archetypes. The first archetype in the integration activity space is the peddler. The peddler is a lot like the merchant. She is a shop or a boutique owner. She curates and merchandises with creativity. She just loves to be around people and wants to be around people as much as possible. So think of somebody like the merchant type who just is a people person. In the information product space, entrepreneurs that have the integrator activity skill set are known as editors, and that is our 11th archetype. Editors are collaborators to the max. They're always thinking up different collaborations, working, and if you think about a magazine editor, that's exactly what they do. They pull a team together to create original content. And our final archetype is the teacher. And a teacher offers a service, and that's education. And they typically offer that in a space that involves a lot of people. And that's why we find teachers in the integration activities space. All these entrepreneurial archetypes can be successful as entrepreneurs. The key is knowing which activities that you prefer and understanding what type of product you really want to sell. The next thing understanding this can do for you is it can really help you collaborate. So hop over to the forums, tell us what you feel like your entrepreneurial archetype is, and listen for others that you think might help you in areas where you don't feel as strong. So next up in lesson 5, we are going to be talking about the 4 habits of successful business owners.